Hey, I'm Mike Twombly, health coach with Dr. AJ Shah, and we are so happy to have you here joining us for day 3 of our cholesterol lowering challenge. We're going to be talking about intact grains today. And now, this is going to be something that in large part has a lot to do with us being able to put something in the place of the refined carbohydrates, the sugars, that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So let's not get ahead of ourselves as far as talking about this. Let's just talk about the intact grains themselves and being able to pull our foods back closer to the sun. Now, we've already talked about meats and we've talked about oils, both of which are incredibly important for either reducing inflammation or bringing some healthy oil into our diet. Now, as far as our carbohydrate consumption is concerned, so many times this is a battle between proteins and carbohydrates. Who's right? Do I have more carbohydrates, less protein, more protein, less carbohydrates? And so much of that battle is fought on the grounds of weight loss and then bringing in cholesterol somewhere between as, one of those battlegrounds won or lost by one side or the other. We're not trying to play sides on this. We're not trying to battle this out. We're speaking specifically to the health of your body and being able to get it closer to a blood cholesterol level that is healthy for your heart. We're trying to clear out the arteries, get rid of the inflammation, and allow the cholesterol to do its job. Now, I talked a couple days, or yesterday, I believe, in the meat section about cholesterol and how important cholesterol is in our body. To every cell in our body, our brains, our neurological system, all of our hormones are dependent upon cholesterol. Without cholesterol, we literally could not survive. So cholesterol is not to be demonized in any conversation that we have. However, we do want to look at this and find out ways that we can help the process of cholesterol being delivered to the areas that it needs to be delivered to, and along the way, not stopping off and getting caught up in your arteries. Again, we want to help you to avoid heart attack and stroke and all of the horrible leg blockage and everything else that can be a byproduct of this process not being looked at closely enough. So today we're going to talk about carbohydrates, okay? Not simple carbohydrates so much, but the intact grains. And your question may be, Mike, what is an intact grain? Are you asking me to go to a pet food store and start eating like a horse out of a bag? Absolutely not. We are actually asking you to live like a human, and one that is aware of being able to distinguish between the oats and the grains that are actually closer to the sun and those that are further away from the sun. And what I mean by that is that when you're going through this refining process, these oats actually look the same. It's an oat that's coming in, it's an oat and a grain that's being broken down. We're either adding sugar and salt and these things in the refining process that actually takes away and strips it of its healthy components and places in there others that make it either taste a certain way or it's something that can be packaged for longer periods of time. Salt being, something that just allows a box of cereal to sit on the shelf for months, years, decades. That's not what it's meant to be. An intact grain is something that would actually fall from the plant itself, be on the ground for one season, and then die off and then be worthless after that amount of time. We want you to get it closer to the time that it's on the plant itself. Because remember, every plant that we are actually trying to get these benefits from was once deriving all of this from the sun. It was getting all these benefits from the sun and then turning it into something that's life to us. And that's what every animal on the planet is trying to get from any fruit, vegetable, or grain that we're eating when we do eat them. However, when they're placed in that box, like I said, they're drawn away from and everything is stripped from them, so they're further and further away from the sun, further and further away from life, and further away from the life-giving qualities that can benefit you and ultimately damage the interior of your arteries, causing this cholesterol buildup to occur. So the anti-inflammatory response that we are looking for is going to be found as we get closer to the sun and get closer to these intact grains. One of these grains is oat groats. This is Dr. Shah's favorite intact grain that you could go out and get today. You can get this from Walmart or Walmart.com. You can get it online or at a health food store. You can get it at your local grocery store. It's going to be there, and it is something that is extremely healthy for you. You can get steel cut oats. You can get a lot of things that can replace the things that are in your pantry that may not be life-giving. So let's move forward. Let's try to pull from our pantry what we know is not close to the sun and not life-giving to you and your family. And let's attempt to try and to put something that is life-giving and very close to the sun without the processing and giving you the opportunity to be able to benefit and bring those cholesterol levels down. That's day 3 for us on the cholesterol lowering challenge, and we really hope to see you back here for day 4. We're so excited to have you here for day 3. Thanks for joining us. Leave your comments below and anything else that you'd like to share. We look forward to seeing you. Have a good day.